Whenever you're ready, sir.
All right, let me try and minimize the big screen so I can get the share screen going so we can work off of that. All right, I think we're good now.
Ready, Sergio?
Yes, sir.
All right, I have 6:08 on Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. I'll call the meeting to order. Everyone please rise. We'll have a moment of silence followed by the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Serge, I'll have you call roll.
Member Johns,
Here.
member Mayor,
Here.
member Sharp is not here today, member Hemingway is not here, and member Rafter.
Here. Since we have a quorum, the next item on the agenda is election of officer. We're looking for a vice chair. Sergio,
Correct. The previous member was not able to fulfill the duties and resigned, and we appointed, and Dan Sharp was appointed, who is now a member. And the previous member was the vice president, and so we need a nomination and a vote for vice president replacing.
like to flip a coin.
I nominate Sharon for her wealth of experience.
I'll second. Sergio, we have a motion and a second. Would you please call roll?
Member Johns,
Yes.
member Mayor,
Yes.
and member Rafter.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Mayor.
Okay.
We have no minutes presented this time. You were looking for a motion to waive, just present them next month.
We'll present it next month.
Next item is preliminary hearings. We have BZA 25006, developmental standard variance. Keegan Casala, a Munster resident, requesting variance from table 266405A2. District standards, private landscaping and fencing to install a fence in the front yard located at 1020 Cornwallis Lane. Sergio, I'll turn this over to you.
Sure. This is a residential property on the, almost like a double corner lot. You would say it's three-sided by, sided on three sides by streets. And then the way the code reads, is that the shortest end of, the shortest width of a lot is identified the front of the lot, the parcel irregardless of the location of the orientation of the home. And based on the peculiarities of how this lot is developed, this puts the property owner's front yard facing cobblestone. Yard or cobblestone with the longest being the side yard, which is identified there. However, as I mentioned, this is a three-sided lot with Spencer along the side there. So they're asking for a variance to install a fence in what's identified by our code as a front yard for long cobblestone there.
Sergio, how do you determine when you have, what is it to determination when you have a three-sided lot like that or a two-sided lot? I mean,
Our code does not identify a double through lot or a peninsula lot per se. And so what we are working off of is the code. The identifies where is the front yard, the side yard based on our definitions on the code there.
is this something we're looking at changing? But obviously, the front of your house is the front of your house, right?
Correct. We are, the draft version of the design code identifies the front of the lot based on the orientation.
Thank you, Sergio. Does anyone have any questions for Sergio and staff?
So I just have a question, sir. So just bear with me. So the address is 1020 Cornwallis. The house faces Cornwallis. But by our code, the front yard is considered cobblestone. correct?
That is correct.
And where do they want to put the fence?
The fence,
Yellow line.
they want to put it,
Sure, a little survey.
you can see the dotted green line there.
So back to the house now.
A little bit more clear, so.
Oh, I see, okay, okay.
So yes, this is Cornwallis, the home base is Cornwallis. Based on our code definitions of the way it's outlined, this is the front yard. And they're looking to go into what is identified as a front yard by our code. This is their plan of survey that they submitted. As part of their request there. Again, the home orientation basis Cornwallis there. Cobblestone is nice support there. It's there, you know, the dark lines what they're proposing.
Oh, I see, okay. Okay.
Questions for staff?
Just one more. So if they were to back that fence up outside of that yellow box that you had on that sheet, would that then be legal?
Yes, it is behind then
If
the,
it was over on the edge of the white and yellow?
correct, because this line right here is a building line, and their building line, or their building stops at that building line there.
So from
Well,
the edge of the white to
oh,
the,
I'm sorry,
to the green line, how many feet is that?
that we don't. Sorry, the home of the building is, the edge of the home is here,
In a second.
sorry, so this is all identified as front yard, they would have to bring it back towards there.
Okay,
Along the yellow dotted line. And so the measurements is like, you know, we're looking at whatever the distance is from there to there, I can't read that. From there to there, plus a 20-foot minus a 20-foot building line.
okay,
So is that 40, 41, 47? So possibly for the 20-foot building line, you'll have 21 feet from the edge of the building, 27, whatever that number is there.
okay, that's all I.
Any other questions for staff?
No,
Is anyone here to speak on behalf of the petitioner? If so, you can come up to the microphone, state your name and address
It's a
for
preliminary
record.
hearing, so it's-
Huh?
it's a preliminary.
I understand that, but I'm sure here to speak.
Hi, everyone. I'm Keegan Casala. Good to meet you all. As far as what we're looking to do here, essentially, I'm looking to fence in my backyard, but the way that the code is constructed, it has our side yard listed as the backyard. And my actual backyard listed as the front yard. So although it says I'm looking to put a fence in my front yard, if you look at the home, the way it's oriented, it's actually the backyard. And that's simply done by the length of the roads that the property sits on. The way that the code is letting us put the fence is gonna bring it all the way up to my actual front yard and connect it kind of to my garage area. But I think that visual is part of this document here. Honestly, it looks ridiculous, and it's really fencing in my actual front yard instead of just my backyard. But all we're looking to do here is fence in the actual backyard, which, by the way the code is defined, is technically the front yard.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Ms. Mayor.
Question for you. Casal, was it?
Yeah, it's Keegan.
How many feet from the curb to the green line? Oh, you don't have it on there, but to the fence,
It's 12 feet.
12 feet from the curb to
Yep.
the green line. And then is that the same on Spencer Court?
It's 6 feet on Spencer Court, but you know, that can be adjusted if need be. If we need to go a little bit in, that's no problem at all.
Okay.
so Joe, what does our code require for the fence placement?
For the fence placement, up to the property line.
Oh, so we will be fine at 6 feet.
You also have a building line established on the lot there. And building lines are established to, establish line of sight and long building.
Was there any reasoning why you chose 12 feet on the one side, 6 on the other?
No, just wanted to stay a little bit further off that main road. We do have a couple of utility boxes that sit right outside of that, so we're trying not to include that in the yard, make those easily accessible. But no reason in particular.
It's also 6 feet from the sidewalk, not from the curb. So you still got that parkway, so from the curb, it's closer to 11 feet. On the other side, there is the sidewalk, so we're about 12 feet from the curb on one side and about 11 feet on the other.
Which side doesn't have a sidewalk?
Cobblestones, the main entryway.
Okay,
Yeah, the Google.
okay.
Let's figure it out. There's that box.
Is that whole cobblestones doesn't have sidewalks?
Just the main entrance right here, rest of,
Oh, I see.
just coming out of Main Street here.
Yeah.
But the same thing, the townhouse is here.
Oh.
Yeah, I know you already had approval from the Cobblestone Property Association, it's a metal ornamental decorative fence.
Yep.
That was already approved. I have nothing else, looking for a motion to set this for public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to set it.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
We have a motion and second, any further discussion?
No.
Sir, would you please call roll?
Member Jones,
Yes,
member Mayor,
Yes,
and member Renner.
Yes, please work with staff to make sure all public notice and notifications.
Yep.
Back for next meeting.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda, we have public hearings. We have BZA 25004, it's use variance with Andrew Sirios of Precision Control Systems, Inc. requests a variance from table 266405A6 district standards, principal use, light industrial use category to allow a building system construction business use at existing building located at 10350 Calumet Avenue. Sergio, the floor is yours.
Sure. The applicant was here last month during the preliminary hearing. They're now here for the public hearing. They've met all the requirements for a public hearing. They are looking to relocate their business, their primary headquarters business in Griffith to Munster. They've identified the former Harley Davidson motorcycle showroom and repair shop as their future, like to locate there as their future home. The facility, the building was constructed in 2001 as an automobile repair and showroom. There was an addition in 2014. They're looking to, at least they identified that they have 60 office employees, they have 60 field employees, and their daily count for parking would be about 40 parking spaces. They'll have service van deliveries, pickup trucks for pickups and drop off. And then box trucks, FedEx trucks, UPS trucks for delivery of a product and merchandise that they use on site. There would be no construction or manufacturing on site. Everything is done off site. Essentially, they're an HVAC commercial company, contractor, and they've identified 74 parking spaces. They are here at a public hearing because the current site is identified CB4A as a character or general business zone, and they're looking to propose a building systems construction business, which requires it to be in S special district manufacturing. This does not fit those qualifications, and they are requesting a use variance. This matter would be a recommendation to the town council for their final decision.
Thank you, Sergio. Was there any questions for Sergio on this? Okay. Is there someone on behalf of petitioner like to come up to speak? If so, please state your name and address for the record.
Andrew Sirios with Precision Control Systems. Do you want business address, personal address?
I'll give you business address.
Okay, 405 East Ridge Road, Griffith, Indiana.
Okay.
Thank you for having us here.
Want to give your spiel, your
Yeah, I can
presentation?
give the
what you
spiel. I
got?
left my notes on the seat, but
You can grab it.
oh, that's
Yeah.
okay. I think I have, yeah, hopefully I have it memorized. We are, outgrown our facility in Griffith, multiple times. We have multiple rented spots in Griffith right now. We have office employees scattered around. So really our main, goal in doing this is, primarily is the office space really that we need. But obviously having the attached, warehouse space is a big plus to us. It's probably more than we need in the warehouse, but, it's nice to have them there just for convenience for people, but the idea would be the old showroom. And there actually is an office space, about 8,000 square foot or so, I want to say, or maybe a little less than that. That was current kind of office space within the facility, taking that showroom and the existing office space and basically making that engineering and, accounting and sales folks, office for them. And then kind of having the supporting warehouse area in the back. Inside the warehouse, we plan to we receive, pallets of parts. Everything we do is mainly like controllers and things. We're a building automation company primarily, but controllers and parts like that, maybe some conduit and things along those lines that we store in the warehouse, and then they come in bunched together. We sort them out for our different projects. And then we have drivers usually take them out to the job sites to meet all our field folks where they're doing their work. I know we do have, our pipe fitters, electricians, programmers do come in from time to time. They'll be working in the office in the morning or something. They'll pack up their vans, throw in their parts for their job and go from there. So they are in and out, from time to time. Most of the time, it's only a few people visiting from the field a day. Delivery wise, we did note, and I just wanted to make it clear, we do get semi deliveries, from time to time. It's fairly rare. We have, on any given week, you can definitely count them on one hand or less, the deliveries we'll get, where we're offloading the semis, but just wanted to be totally clear, honest about that. I know there were concerns, in our previous meeting about, parking, where, we do have company vehicles. The vast majority of those, I think we're in the, obviously around 60 or so company vehicles, but we do, those go home with our individuals because they're working on job sites, every day. We will have, our, I'd say, 2, 3, 4, 5, spare vehicles that we would, I almost would guarantee would be stored on site at any given time.
Would that be the ones I visited your place multiple times over the last month on Saturdays and Sundays and nights? Kind of like 8 or so between pickup trucks, vans, stake bed trucks,
I guess I should count those, yeah.
Yeah.
But, okay, so maybe it's 8, we're, the plan on that would be, ideally in my mind would be parking it. I took some photos, the other week when we were there doing surveys with our architects and engineers and people, would be, parking those behind the building on the west side, behind the warehouse portion. If that's not acceptable, we'll be considering, what I guess the recommendations would be for that. There's also on the north end of the building, there is kind of like a concrete block wall enclosure, where they must have parked motorcycles or Harley delivery trucks or something along those ends. We could park the vehicles in there and just manage that accordingly, where we do have, companies that are part of our, I'll say parent company, umbrella companies, where we have to limit the number of spares we keep on site. We could do something like that and store some of them elsewhere, but ideally, we do need a few spares on site because we do have swap outs at time to time due to repair issues and whatnot, where we need a few spare vehicles, locally just to keep us moving, from time to time. But that would be the idea, is to park them either on that west side. There are some trees there, that kind of block it, really only visible from the, gas station, car wash. On the southwest side is really where we can see them. Possibly if there were developments to the north in the future, they could be visible from there, depending on how the landscaping and everything comes out. Like I said, or there's kind of a block wall. It almost looks like a dumpster enclosure, but there is a dumpster enclosure. There's kind of like another area to the, yeah, right there. So you have the dumpster enclosure where the cursor is, but then just to the right of that, you can see there's kind of an enclosed in area of concrete, that could be a possible, other location for us to put the vehicles. I did talk it over with our architect regarding the question of storing the vehicles indoors. He shut me down pretty briefly on that, and it just in like brutal honesty, just talking about, the different things you have to do to classify the area for vehicle storage and things like that overnight due to fire hazards and everything like that. So, I prefer not to do that, but obviously that's, a decision for, I guess for the committee to make. But that's kind of, I know that was the big concern, so I feel like we, just wanted to try to address that. The idea would be right there where we would see the photo, we'll be parking, some of those vehicles on the back end.
Can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
To be clear, so the vehicles that would stay the night are, in essence, what type of vehicle? They're
We have,
large trucks? or-
yeah, we have a stake bed truck that's like a F-350,
Some of
Thank
it
you.
that's
Okay.
outside.
and then a few vans.
Vans and pickup trucks?
Yeah,
So nothing,
Well,
no.
it's construction office.
okay. And then, within that wall, that existing concrete block wall area, would there be sufficient space and access for you to park a typical, let's say, half dozen of those trucks in that space?
Somewhere on the drawings, it shows how many parking spots are there. I'm
Sorry, I didn't, okay.
I should know that offhand. I probably might actually be on there.
I'm
Otherwise, I
scrolling.
think I have a printout with me. Yeah.
I just think for resident concern, it would be great if we could,
Looks like there's 6 spots there.
okay. And you feel that max you would have 8?
Yeah, if we set a max on it, we could definitely, live with that for sure.
Okay. And as far as how that walled structure, is it feasible to pull, to jockey
Oh, yeah.
6 in there that, so that it's also functional for your purposes?
Yeah.
As far as where the access is?
Yeah, and it would, just limit how many spares we have, and that's, ideally, we only have 1 or 2 spares, but, from time to time as field forces, fluctuate or whatnot, those do vary. But most of our employees, I mean, all of them, they're full-time, there's very little turnover there, but, as we're hiring, we have to make an order of vans, we store them off-site, and we keep a few on-site for our own purposes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? So you have 60 vans coming possibly to here daily in and out?
No,
Yeah,
no,
parts.
no, no,
30. I mean, you're
I don't
probably a
think-
union shop, guys are getting here 7 in the morning, loading up equipment or maybe earlier. End of the day, 3:30, 4 o'clock, loading up, getting parts, pieces. You said you had multiple facilities, so I only viewed this one facility that had the 8 vans, so I don't know your setups or your locations of your
Yeah.
other thing to relate to what you're bringing here.
No, I would say the vans really when people are coming in to pick things up. Right now, it's, due to our location right next to 8094, we usually have when we're doing work on, and people are driving by in the morning, they may stop by, but I would say, I mean, I'd be surprised if we have 3 people stopping by, in their vans a day. But, primarily we try not to have them come into the shop because it's billable time. It's better to not have them. So we have our drivers taking the things out to them and making all the deliveries. But it does happen.
So you had mentioned earlier that you have 60 employees. That's
60
correct?
field employees.
60 field.
Yes, correct.
How many office?
60.
So you have
I can get
60
the exact
office
count.
and 60 field.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so 60 office people. And what are they driving?
They're personal vehicles.
So they're just driving their own
Yes,
car.
correct.
Okay, and the other 60 field people are driving the vans and those types of commercial vehicles.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, and they don't work in the office at all.
No, but I mean, they'll come in for meetings, at times and things like that, for sure.
Okay.
Like, we don't keep them away, but yes, there's
Right,
definitely.
but I mean,
times
they're site. people?
Yes, they are site people. And being a, building kind of construction and service company, a lot of our office people aren't in the office as often. I mean, they're out and about on the job sites and visiting customers and different sites like that. A lot of the time as well.
Would you look at making this building just an office building, not warehouse with parts and deliveries and?
One of the big drivers to the building, was having the attached warehouse. That was honestly one of the selling points for the facility. We had other options for, strictly office buildings, but, did not make offers on those due to the, finding this facility available and on the market. And that was really one of the driving points to pursuing this facility was the joint warehouse. If we had to make it straight office, we would probably choose a different, it's not the least, there's definitely less expensive options, I would say, for strictly office space. So that was definitely one of the.
But there's also good areas for this kind of fit that have an office / warehouse. I see them, B&D built their office on Kennedy Avenue in Cherville.
Mhm.
BMW's in our industrial park in Munster by 3 Floyds,
Mhm.
which is more of an industrial area. And like I mentioned before, this is our first building in Munster from Dyer.
Mhm.
So that's my reservation.
Yeah,
having,
understood.
I know you're gonna have condenser units, you got pipe fitters, you got your programmers, you got your control specialists, all
Yeah.
coming in and out grabbing parts. So this becomes half the building, basically warehousing / light industrial.
Yeah, it's strictly warehousing. We may have some condensing units, but we pretty much strictly don't do any installation other than, small replacements out of the Precision company brand, I would say.
Just looking at the other businesses that are around here, trying to look at a fit for that, what
Mhm.
you're asking for. You're 350 feet away from houses, which is close, Cobblestone's right there. You're 200 feet from businesses, like businesses that are commercial, retail. You got an animal hospital 200 feet away. Horizon Bank's 278 feet away. Main Street, our main entrance to town is 260 feet away. Across the street, 280 feet, you have an eye doctor, fitness center, Dunkin' Donuts. And the rest of the property all around you is owned by the hospital, which is gonna be medical.
Correct.
So looking at a fit for a warehouse when we're surrounded by a totally different use in CD4 zoning. Makes it hard as a resident and BZA member to picture this kind of fit for the use.
I can't help with that one.
I
Yeah.
know, I'm just trying, you're asking for the variance, we're trying to explain.
No,
what we
understood.
got
Yeah.
going on.
No, I can respect I respect that.
I do have a letter sent by the, sir, do you want me to read this for public record?
You don't have a public hearing yet?
Okay.
I would read it under public hearing.
Okay.
We plan to remove the giant ugly exhaust thing from the top of the building. That helps.
All right, does anyone else have any other questions? All right. Then we'll, Mr. Chair, so I'll have you take a seat and we'll see if
Yeah,
there's
thanks very
anyone
much.
here for the public and we'll bring that forward. Since it's a public hearing, if anyone would like to come up and speak, please state your name and address at the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Robert Steffen, live in Cobblestones, 10436 Spencer Court. So I'm across the street and I guess I have similar concerns to what you were just articulating about trying to understand light industrial. I understand it won't be manufacturing, but it just doesn't seem compatible with the surrounding area. And this is sort of our main street now, Calumet Avenue. So I just don't think it's appropriate to have warehouse and light manufacturing and light industrial on our main street, across the street from a neighborhood, a park, and all those other things. So, yeah, I have that concern. And is there, other than Pepsi, is there any other light industrial on Calumet?
Sergio, you know more than me, I can't think of it. anything Calumet besides medical, Pepsi.
And even, yeah,
Simmons is all medical really inside there now.
there's no, zoning for light industrial along the Calumet corridor, and other than, Pepsi as the shipping facility, manufacturing facility, there's no additional light manufacturing facility.
So it just seems incompatible to me. And it does seem like there would be a better place for this, than across the street from the park and neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Steffen. Sergio, we received a letter from the, a letter demonstrate, the subject was formal objection to proposed manufacturing industrial zoning adjacent to residential areas of Calumet Business Quarter. It says, dear members of the Munster Town Council and BZA, we, the Understein Cobblestone Properties Owner Association, formally oppose a proposed light manufacturing industrial development on Calumet Avenue adjacent to existing commercial medical properties and residential properties. This project is incompatible with the established zoning principles, comprehensive plan objectives, and the duty of the Town Council and Board of Zoning Appeals to protect public welfare. 1, incompatible land use and zoning violations. Manufacturing and industrial uses are to be separated from residential and commercial districts to prevent land use conflicts. Locating manufacturing operations near homes and medical offices creates a zoning conflict that's inconsistent with recognized planning standards, including those outlined by the American Planning Association, which emphasize the need for buffering and distance between manufacturing and industrial activities and commercial business districts and dwellings. 2, threat to public safety. Manufacturing and industrial operations pose increased risk for heavy traffic uses, noise pollutions, and other issues. The proximity would subject residents, including children and elderly individuals, to measurable environmental and safety hazards. Any resulting harm could expose the town to potential legal claims under nuisance, environmental, and public health statutes. Noise, traffic, and safety hazards. Manufacturing industrial operations bring increased truck traffic, noise from trucks and equipment, and extended work hours, which all directly affect the peace, safety, and daily routines of the residents of Munster. 3, adverse impact on property values and economic stability. Numerous real estate studies demonstrate that property values decline when manufacturing and industrial facilities are introduced near residential neighborhoods and office business corridors. This not only harms homeowners and commercial property investments, but also erodes the local tax base over time, contrary to the town's stated economic development goals. 4, precedent for future incompatible development. Approval of this project will set a precedent that undermines the integrity of our zoning map, opening the door for further encroachment of incompatible uses into commercial corridors in residential areas, therefore weakening the enforceability of the town's planning authority. For these reasons, we urge the BZA and Town Council to deny this proposal in its current form and to consider alternate sites already zoned for suitable for manufacturing and industrial activity consistent with the town's comprehensive plan and best planning practices. This not only maintains community balance and avoids incompatible land uses, but also protects the economic interests and the well-being of its residents. We submit this objection of the official public record and request formal acknowledgement of this receipt. We appreciate your time, service, and commitment to making thoughtful decisions for Munster's future. Sincerely, the Cobblestone Property Owners Association. Sure, absolutely. Hold on. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on behalf of the public? Going once, going twice. I'll bring it back to the board.
Mr. Serios, just as a business owner myself, I see a tremendous investment in this bricks and mortar property, where, as Mr. Raffin said, there are so many places, not that we wouldn't like to have a long-standing respected business as part of the Munster community, but there are so many less expensive places that you could do this. I understand you've got time and money into it already. What, aside from the ability to have office space and warehouse space, where there are, as Mr. Raffin said, backed by BMW, backed by 3 Floyds, we in Munster, again, would love to have you, but as you can feel, there's a conflict here. There's a reason that you're in front of the Board of Zoning Appeals, is because it doesn't speak to our ordinances as they sit and the objectives of the town. So you're kind of swimming upstream to start with. And not to disrespect the efforts that you've made, but what drew you to that property exceptionally over an industrial, more of an industrial setting? You don't need Calumet Avenue frontage or,
Should I come up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
that's fine.
Thank you. Really on our end, you know, we've been looking for a couple of years now, you know, on and off. And really to find a, facility that has close to 20,000 square foot of, that we can turn into, you know, basically, not that it's commercial real estate, but, well, commercial office, but typically Class A office space for, you know, to recruit engineers, to recruit, you know, salespeople, pretty high-end, high caliber folks. This was the, you know, by far the best solution, you know, we found. And we did look, we've looked everywhere. And, finding in, you know, this Lake County, pretty much staying in there, to find 20,000 square foot of office space is not an easy task at all. So we really, you know, we need the office space. We need probably, you know, in this 15 to 20,000 square foot of office space, is, you know, number one, very difficult to find. Number two, finding a place with the warehouse attached is, you know, is definitely a huge benefit to us. So, you know, knowing that this place has I think it's 12,000, 13,000 square foot, warehouse attached to it. You know, I mean, granted, we have to do a lot of work in there because there's a paint booth and all kinds of stuff. We're just gonna gut the whole thing and level the floor and keep it, you know, smooth so we can put in racking and things like that. But, I mean, it's a unique property. We couldn't find anything like that. We looked for about a year and a half, 2 years. And, you know, really, in all honesty, the closest place we could find was in like Michigan City. So that's really how we got here.
Got it, okay. I mean, it is a unique property and,
Yeah.
you know, it certainly serves the town to have it occupied.
Yeah,
It's just, again, you know, it's the whole
Yeah.
use and what it does to the
Yeah.
surrounding areas, and it does establish a precedent.
Mhm.
You know, and it also has to be significantly more expensive than a M&M or, you know, like a industrial type building prefab.
yeah, it is, but when you, well, the fact that it's been vacant for, I don't know
It's
how
not
many
for
years, 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, that helped, in the, you know, it has the bones that really it's, you know, an interior build out, you know, from an office standpoint. You know, we've done HVAC evaluations. We know a lot that can be, we're gonna replace all the units, but a lot of the bones of it can be reused, which does help the build out cost. Where taking, you know, a Butler building, you know, or if you want to call it like a warehouse style building, retrofitting that into the type of office we need, there's a lot of cost involved with that. You know, there's a lot of cost in kind of the end result that you get of it. You know, doesn't show, you know, that we're a first-class company trying to recruit first-class engineers, you know, to the business and looking at the, you know, like one of the cherries on top on the thing is that just the layout of the front of the building, the way we can turn this kind of break room, conference room area with overhead doors in there.
I
to
don't
open
think
it up
anyone
in the
has a
summer
problem with you opening an office there.
Is a beautiful part.
I don't think
Yeah.
anyone here has a problem with you
Yeah.
opening as an office.
Mhm.
It's just using that warehouse space for future office and not warehouse space is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
that-
you would sell us in a heartbeat if you want to move your office here, with
Mhm.
your engineers and your sales
Yeah.
staff and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
When it comes to the truck traffic and light industrial, you know, we're only, I don't know, quarter-mile away from a $2 billion train station that we're doing in
Mhm.
Munster. So everyone's gonna be coming towards this corner of Munster as
Mm-hmm.
their gateway. And we have concerns with being industrial and, you know, that kind of use at this property.
And I
If
guess
you
that's
open
a
it tomorrow as an
decision.
office and you rehab the warehouse as an office, great, love to have you.
Yeah, and that's a decision that I guess you guys have to make. I mean, in our opinion, you know, when we looked at it originally, we're like, it was a motorcycle repair shop and paint shop and all kinds of actual manufacturing and service going on in there, which won't be occurring now. And the warehouse is there, so we're really just repurposing the warehouse more for part storage than for,
But I've also seen,
any sort of,
I've seen a lot of warehouses in my day also get repurposes for offices.
yeah.
When it fits the neighborhood, I'm not sure a train by Hinsdale or Naperville would be like, this is a great fit, let's put a warehouse right by our new train and our, other developments we have here.
Not just tough for this committee, because also we can say that you'll only ever have 6 vehicles and, then how do we pull that through as a governing body to, it just makes it, once you start to make an exception, now somebody has to be on top of policing it and the agreement and, but 5 years from now, when you've got 18 trucks out there and the neighbors in cobblestones are going, really, this is, it's just,
Yeah.
there's nothing that really prevents you from doing that, I don't think, so.
Yeah.
It's a tough position for this group to be in because we have a broader vision.
I can respect that.
It's tough.
Mhm.
Respecting.
May I? Mr. Soros,
Mhm.
so this, what we are going to be voting on today really is a recommendation to the town council. It's what we do here isn't the final decision. We make a recommendation to the town, right? They can go either with our recommendation or not.
Okay, understood.
So, but, you're asking us to do something that, we're not quite comfortable with. There's only 3 of us here today out of 5.
Understood.
Okay, and, but you haven't said anything about what you're willing to do to try to help us make the decision favorably for you.
Mhm.
So what do you have to offer?
I mean, I can say that, from our standpoint, we can set limits on the amount of vehicles there, but we, and screen off an area for them to park. We could do things like that if there's privacy fence, something along those lines, but unfortunately, I can't change the fact, and I'm just trying to be honest, I'm not being that there are times where we may have, people come in for their CPR training or confined space training or something like that using the area, and there will be vans, parked in the parking lot during the day, and that's just a reality of our business, and we can't change our business to, look fancy or something, it's like, yeah, it's,
Well, especially
Yeah.
Roland and I and our new member, who's not here today,
Mhm.
all work in construction.
Yeah.
I was an estimator for 40 years, so
Okay.
I understand how your
Mhm.
business runs.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the issue.
Yeah.
The issue is where the building is located
Mhm.
versus, where it should be for what you're gonna be doing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you just said, like you've
Yeah,
got
we look
all
for
those
2
trucks coming in for confined space training and, it's gonna happen.
Yes.
And I appreciate your candor.
Yeah.
But that's why we would rather see that in an industrial complex.
No, understood. I mean, unfortunately, I can't say that we won't have people coming in, I mean, that's just not, it's just not and if there's, if the major concern is that, people don't want to see company vans, parked in the parking lot during the day, we could probably, address the storage issue. But, the during the day stuff, there's just no way, I mean, there's really no way to get around that, unfortunately, without, changing, who we are as a business and, we're, our field folks are, 30 some 40 years with I mean, they're the biggest part of our company. They're the most important people in our whole company. The rest of us are engineers and
We spent a
punch on
lot
a
of,
computer all day. We, they're more than welcome anytime. So that's
we spent a lot of time going over and we redid a form-based code.
Mhm.
Coming up with different characteristics in Munster. What we wanted to see, this was
Mhm.
a multi-year step with recommendations from residents, from people on commissions, business leaders, politicians, as well as all the people on the board. So we went through this and we developed these areas as C4 business zones because that's what the residents of Munster wanted to see. So like Sharon said, it's hard when you got 3 people on the board, but this has been vetted out through the community over a certain life cycle. And that's the direction that the town, came together and brought in front of us.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion.
Ms. Mayor, what's your motion?
My motion is to not make a recommendation to the town for this use permit.
So unfavorable recommendation to town council for this petition. We have a motion.
Mr. Raffin, if I may,
Yes.
I just want to clarify, is your options are no motion, or I'm sorry, no recommendation, a favorable or an unfavorable.
Okay,
Which
so-
you had just stated unfavorable, but I believe Ms. Mayor had said she wanted to make no recommendation. So I just want to clarify what the motion actually is that she is making.
No, not a no recommendation. It was an unfavorable.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Thanks. So we have a motion for unfavorable recommendation to the town council.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Sergio, please call roll.
Member Johns,
Yes.
member Mayor,
Yes.
and member Rath.
Yes. We appreciate you coming to town. Like I said, if it was an office building,
Mhm.
well,
Yeah, understood. You have to do your job and yeah, we're give it a shot and guess we see where it goes from here. So thank you.
Thank you.
Think office space.
All right, we have continued discussion items, no findings of fact, other business. We have PC 25005 administrative appeal. I hope I say your name right. Frank Sitcher. Zischer.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's
Munster resident 8015 Greenwood Avenue requesting appeal of the town's determination on table 266405 A3 district standards. Private landscaping and fencing in table 266405 A1 district standard screen for the use of a tarp structure at 8031 Greenwood Avenue. Sergio, floor is yours.
The resident of 8015 Greenwood contacted the building and, community development office in early June requesting that an inspection or a site visit be done regarding a screen or a tarp that was installed on or near the property line between him and his neighbor at 8031 Greenwood. He has expressed concerns on the status of codes supporting that. He's asked for an opinion and our attorney submitted a legal review of that. And now he's asking to appeal that review by the Board of Appeals.
Ms. Bennett, do you have anything to add? I didn't really have a chance to review this. I did drive past the property, but it was getting a little bit dark the evening I came by, so I couldn't get a complete look at it. Anything you'd like to add?
Not at this time, Mr. Raffin. Obviously the petitioner has submitted a lengthy request for consideration. Attached to that is the letter with my opinion that I did provide to him. I think it might be beneficial perhaps to hear from him first, where you can ask questions and then I can fill in from there as needed to maybe clarify further for you.
Like I said, since I didn't get this information till yesterday, I didn't have a chance to really review it a ton on this.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I did drive by this on my way to tonight's meeting. And, how do you pronounce your last name?
Zischer?
Zischer?
Yeah.
Mr. Zischer. You own the property that did
And you-
not put up the screen on the fence, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
You can come up here and state your name and address for us. Sure, for the record.
Yeah, my hip replacement.
Oh, no. And if you can't stand,
No, it's the city that kills. Okay, no, thank you. For the record, Frank Zischer, 8015 Greenwood Avenue.
So you were the neighbor.
Yes, the screen, the tarp fence does not belong to me, not
Right.
on my property.
So your neighbor put a tarp on his fence.
It's not on a fence, it's freestanding.
It is the fence.
It is a fence.
Oh, there isn't a chain link?
No,
Oh, it's just,
it's just a tarp.
Okay, I thought it was, I thought it was like
Yeah,
a.
well, that's what the tarp
construction fence.
is designed to do. It's supposed to either go on a chain link fence
Right.
or, you know, over a wrought iron fence or something like that. No, it's just freestanding.
So-
This is the construction net, I mean, you control dust control.
Oh, yes. So the tarp is just strung on cables, it's not on a fence,
That's correct.
so it's acting as a fence.
It is a fence, actually. That was my, reason for bringing this appeal.
I thought this was from like Lake Station or something.
No, the tarp itself, or no?
No, I'm just saying,
Oh,
I mean,
Just looking
Yeah,
at
I
it.
was not looking at,
Yeah, that's why I brought this appeal, because when the determination came out that, this was a screen and it's not subject to any regulations under the town of Munster, I was kind of floored by that. It's been a while since I looked at a zoning code, but I looked at the zoning code, I go, wait a minute, and particularly when the town says it meets the definition of a fence, and I'm like, okay, so apply fence regulation.
Yeah.
Nope, we're not gonna do that. We're to call it a screen and point to a table that says it's unregulated. And that's that.
this looks, I mean,
That's ridiculous. So Sergio,
Yeah, so where are we?
we're trying to understand how this could have fallen through the cracks like this.
Hasn't
So,
fallen through the cracks, but I can respond.
yeah, I'll have Attorney Bennett respond to that matter, and I'll pull up the codes that were referenced for that.
Okay,
First and foremost, I'd ask you to wait till you have all the evidence before you make a decision in that respect. As you know, we are bound by the language of the code. Whether I like it or the petitioner likes it, that is what we are bound by. And there are many things in this code, as you know, that we are in the process of redrafting because of such issues. This has obviously been one that has come to the attention and is clearly a problem. But again, we are bound by the language of the code. If you look at the letter that I wrote and or the documents that are attached from the zoning code to that letter, and or what Sergio has attached in his staff report, the definition of offense specifically is broken down in two forms. One as a private frontage type, and two as a structure. So we're obviously looking at as a structure. The word fence, and I'm reading right from the code, is a structural device erected to serve as an architectural element, landscape element, visual screen, or physical barrier. So as I put in the letter, does the tarp strung down the property line meet this definition? Yes. It falls under, right, is an architectural element, can be, landscape element, can be, visual screen, can be, physical barrier, perhaps.
are we
which-
looking at the engineering possibilities and principles when we're hanging a tarp around the project for wind load, for design? Do it
All
all, I do
considerations,
it all the time in buildings in Chicago. I can't just put a screen or a tarp up and not study wind loads, calculations, engineering wise, because that tarp can become a dangerous object if it takes off the ground.
all of those are exactly the considerations, Mr. Raffin, such things as, right, physical barrier. A barrier is one of the main things for a fence for safety, security, confinement, right? Erection, it's not coming loose and flying. It's such things as swimming pool codes. A tarp obviously can never be around a swimming pool. A tarp could never suffice for a structure for security. It's not going to work for keeping a dog in. It's never going to meet the code for me keeping a dog in, you know, things of that nature. But if I'm going merely off the definitions, One of the things that even is identified poorly in the fence definition is a visual screen. So in cross-referencing these words also in the Munster Code, because under this zoning classification, fences are regulated. It specifically states screens are not regulated. That's how it's set forth, not regulated. So if this meets the definition of a screen, I can't selectively say it's a fence because that's what I want to do, or that's what the petitioner wants me to do. I'm bound by the words of this code, poor or, superior, it doesn't matter. The definition of the screen on page 447 of the code, it identifies a screen both as a verb, which obviously when we're screening properties, when we're screening areas, when we're screening dumpsters, or as a noun, which again, I'm reading from the code. As a noun, it's a building element, a wall or fence. So again, we're crossing words in this poorly written definition. Wall or fence constructed of an opaque material or an evergreen hedge, which blocks an item or condition from view from a vantage point as required by this article. It is not synonymous with a street screen. So again, as all the items that I just referenced that are considerations on a fence, and a fence meaning a code for various purposes, when cross-referencing that a fence can also be a screen, and then I'm going to a screening definition, which references that a screen can be a wall or a fence, then I'm breaking down the break from there. An opaque material, it blocks an item or condition from a view, from a vantage point, as required by the article. So this tarp meets every element of the definition of a screen as a noun, and only part of the definition as a fence. I also have one portion of the code that is completely regulates fencing, and one that specifically says that screens are not regulated. And as you mentioned, Mr. Raffin, some of those considerations of a fence as a barrier, this does not meet the definition as is applied in this code for swimming pools, for barriers for animals, etc., of a fence. As the application of this would go, as you've already realized, this is not whether or not the petitioner wants to erect this structure on his property, but rather wants it to be enforced against the neighbor. I would add that the town has such control and can differentiate over portions of the code and how they enforce those. In fact, under the Indiana Tort Claims Act, the town has complete immunity for lack of enforcement of any reference or any violation of a code. So unfortunately, in many ways, it almost becomes a moot point in some, outcomes of what happens here, but that's clearly not what we want to have happen. The town makes every effort to enforce in every way that they can. But in the enforcement, the town also has to consider the effect of the enforcement in applying a regulation because we want to, and making this apply as a fence when we have, like I've already stated, strict regulations saying that that screens rather are not regulated. And then what the consequences are of enforcing something in that regard against the property owner who actually erected this.
Yes.
So Ms. Bennett, though, if many residents in town decided that they wanted to put up these tarps at their property lines, then we have no way to enforce that.
As written
Not what
currently
you're
right
saying.
now, as written, you're correct. But unfortunately, my decision or your decision or want to, if the code does not provide for it, is not our choice. It's not our option. The option is to change the law. And that's what we're in the process of doing. But because we don't agree with it, doesn't mean we can disregard it.
Ms. Bennett, is there a timeline where we're gonna see some updated codes? I know we've been talking about it for a while, but I think there needs to be.
Trust me, I wish it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Our hope is to have significant, our greatest desire would be to have it completely done. I think that, you know, Sergio and I are clearly on the same page with that, and we are working, you know, many days each week exclusively on this. We're hoping that in September, we will have hopefully 6 or 7 chapters or divisions, I would say, to provide. As you know how this goes, it's overlapping and inconsistencies, and one, you know, leads to another. But in trying to bring together an entire, you know, uniform development code here that we can put as one item and not do it piecemeal, so that we're doing away with inconsistencies and not creating more. So
Well,
our hope is to have, like I said, 6 or, you know, perhaps 7 sections, and the rest shortly thereafter.
So is this matter something that's included in the prospective code changes that are gonna come out?
Absolutely. It's a rewrite of the entire zoning code. So
Okay.
absolutely.
So the chapters that you anticipate September-ish would encompass this.
Yes.
Well,
But not this
the,
particular.
well, what's the
part,
remedy on this fence, this, whatever this
Because
is?
it'll be grandfathered
This-
in.
This,
And if I could be heard on this matter, I disagree with Ms. Bennett's interpretation of the code.
That's why we have litigation. That's why they have lawyers. That's why we have different opinions, unfortunately. I mean, that's the nature of code interpretation.
Oh, I understand.
But I
that.
can't enforce it in
I'm
one
asking
regard
if
and
I
risk
can
that
get my
the town
opinion.
gets sued in another by a different property owner.
I'm sorry?
Ms. Bennett, I've been on this board for 25 years, and this is the first time that we have ever had an administrative appeal occur. So I am trying to understand, you know, how we are where we are.
You have a resident who's unhappy with the decision of staff. That's
and, you know,
that's the nature of an
I think
administrative
I would be
appeal.
too.
That's the right.
I will say that if this was going on next door to my home, I would not be happy.
Neither would I.
Neither would I.
Yeah.
But that doesn't allow us to go beyond the code and do what we want.
Understood, but with this, so, the petitioner asks, and it's a good question, would the existing screen be grandfathered when the code changes with these new chapters, or no?
The issue would be,
Yeah, there was no, because it was exempt from a permit.
Yeah, no regulations at all, no permit, no inspection, no nothing.
So what's the recourse on that, Ms. Bennett?
as a screen, it's not regulated, so therefore none of those are required. As for any grandfathering, the structure as it sits, yes, would, as long as that is continued in, as a continuous structure in good condition, then yes, it would have the legal non-conforming status. However, as a tarp, it's obviously going to clearly weather and have issues, you know, as any other fabric does out in the weather, as out in the elements. And that it would
Place
have
any
a time
fabric,
ending on it.
you have to get a new permit, correct?
There's no permit requirement.
No,
So as
not
it
yet,
sits
but
right
aren't we
now-
writing a code, Ms. Bennett?
In the new code, when they wouldn't be exempt.
So we write the new code, that fence has a weathered
Screen.
lifespan, because I've used that fence many times on construction project. It doesn't last but a couple years. When that fabric has to be replaced, you will not get another permit. Would that be something that could be legally bound by?
This structure is not a fence. and
No,
would
but we're writing a
under-
code regarding screening. Well, I don't want to dance around the legal term and saying.
I'm not trying to,
Something that
I
would
need
put
more
off-
time to be able to answer your question then.
Right.
This
Can we-
structure is not a fence, so it does not meet the definition of a fence in the draft as it's written. This
Well, you can
structure
have-
as a
you can-
tarp or as a screen, as written in the proposed code is
But the
prohibited.
intention becomes a fence. And we can list screening in there as we write it. We need to be thoughtful.
I don't think you heard me, Mr. Raffin.
What's that?
I don't think you heard what I said. This structure as it stands under the new code is prohibited, under the proposed code, if passed as drafted in this section, is prohibited. it doesn't meet the definition of a fence.
Would it
But
still
a
be
tarp-
called a screen? Oh, sorry, apologies.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, would it be called a screen? And is that, how is that addressed in the new code? Just trying to understand the parsing of,
I hear you. I don't have that section right in front of me right now, to be able to tell you specifically. Screens are not in the draft, anything that would fall under the definition of a screen by the definitions in, please keep in mind, I need you to throw the complete character-based code out of your mind. Okay, none of that is moving forward in this respect. As written, this new structure would be prohibited.
So it will be prohibited under the new code. But because it's already in place, it's grandfathered in, so it won't, this particular one won't be prohibited. Correct?
No, that's not correct.
Okay,
This structure is not a permanent structure, this tarp. So this is not a building or something of that nature that falls into the same legal nonconforming status as a permanent structure. This, as it's up on, right, wires, it's on stakes, it's a fabric tarp material. So it's going to obviously have maintenance issues, weather issues, all of that. So
Well,
at
why
that
wouldn't it
point
be a
is when that
time-
is going
why
to no
wouldn't it-
longer be
if it's
eligible.
temporary, why wouldn't it be time-based? Why wouldn't there be a limit on how long it can be erected for? Like any construction fence can only be up for a period of time. That material is used for construction fencing, so why wouldn't it be treated that way with a time limit?
well, it's gonna be
That would be
prohibited.
a question for the members of the plan commission and the council that passed the character-based code. I
But
don't
you're
have
saying
that
it
answer.
would be
I didn't draft it.
prohibited. Which makes the whole discussion moot if it's not grandfathered, correct? So if it's a prohibited structure going forward after this new code is voted in, it,
It has to be grandfathered, yeah.
As this structure
the life
stands right
product
now,
of that fence.
The
right,
tarp itself,
Yeah.
I mean, if he has to replace it, which will be soon. Yeah, I don't know,
He
Bennett,
might let it just fall apart.
Yellow bags
Disarray, then we.
it's already done that.
Is there a reason
So,
why
but-
this screening was put up?
I don't know,
I mean, was it put up as a spike fence?
I think it
it's
actually.
put up to block a camera.
We fall under the
All right.
definition under
Oh.
Indiana code, but,
so Ms. Bennett, do you
But
see a
Ms. Bennett,
path?
a spike fence under Indiana code, if it's put up unnecessarily or maliciously to annoy a neighbor, can be declared a nuisance in order removed. And that's Indiana code 322610-1.
That's correct. And that's a code that's applicable between neighbors, not something that the municipality is involved in. And between the parties, there's obviously two sides, and the other party would maintain that this fence was put up to block a camera. Which again, plays no bearing one way or the other. I don't, personally, it doesn't matter if I like the camera or don't like the camera pointing in the other person's backyard. It doesn't matter if I like the tarp or don't like the tarp. If I can't find the teeth in the code, then I cannot advise the town to take action that puts them at risk of liability.
Bennett, as you see you and Sergio, I suppose, as you see the new code chapters coming in, do you see a vehicle for us to get rid of that? Just plain and simple. Is there something that we could do in the next, say, 9 months, if that's approved, and by the end of the year to get rid of that screen? Just black and white.
Get rid of that, what, I'm sorry? Get rid of
The
the structure?
screen, the tarp.
This tarp?
Yeah, given,
This tarp
what lies ahead.
requires, yeah, to be able to just, like I said before, to be able to just say it has to come down, no. But it cannot be re-erected. So if this tarp, the tarp itself needs to be replaced because of any damage to it, cables are breaking to go back up, any of that, then that is where the town can prevent that from being reinstalled. And that's where I said is it's just a matter, unfortunately, of time, but it is a matter of time, very different than a permanent structure of a fence, that it would have to, it's not going to sustain the elements the same way that a wood or vinyl fence would.
Miss Bennett, can we get an amendment, since it's taken a while to get our new code? Can we get an amendment added to our form-based code, and we bring it up to the plan commission and add a section to the form-based code that we have now? So we don't get this in the future. while we're waiting for a new code to come out?
The problem is there's well, let me rephrase this. I would ask that if that's something you need to raise that with a councilman, because the direction that we have at this point is to
We have
proceed.
three of
There's
them
so
here
many,
tonight, that I'm sure the gentleman would probably like to speak to.
there are so many locations within the code that the fences overlap that it winds up having to become a
But
significant,
if we're still a year down the road
oh, we're not gonna be a year.
okay,
Well, let me rephrase that. We're not gonna be a year as to drafts for how long the plan commission moves through it or the council moves through it or what they do for public meetings and that I can't speak to. But from a drafting standpoint, absolutely not. Yeah, it'll be much sooner than that.
this could just be a 2-month process. If we wanted to add an amendment right now to form-based code, you can do that, and then it's in there in a certain section, or covers all the character districts.
Mr. Chairman.
If I receive the proper direction from the council, then yes, I can do that, Mr. Raffin.
I have a question regarding this administrative appeal process.
Yes.
So what the petitioner is asking us to do is appeal the decision that you made? Is that what we're being asked to do today?
Yes,
So if we put a motion in place saying that we disagree with what your findings were, then what happens?
Here's my opinion on that.
Wait, I want to hear her answer.
well, then you make a decision, you overturn my legal opinion on this. And if that's the case, then this would go back as overturning what I've stated, and the petitioner can continue to contact the town, and it will be in the town's decision, as I've indicated, their discretion, whether or not to take action on this. Again, under Indiana tort claims law, the town has complete immunity for non-enforcement of any code section. So that would then be a decision of staff and potentially the council on whether or not they want to go against legal advice and act in enforcing or not enforcing this and dealing with the legal consequences that follow from there.
Well, in that case, I'll make a motion then that indicates that I disagree with your findings and that this particular tarp is a fence and not a screen.
And I'll say, I looked at this for like an hour today, that's about it. I didn't get a chance to drive past it like you. I'm asking if we can, and this is your motion, I know. My opinion is I'd like to still continue this. Further discussion, and I'd like to drive past and look at your property and the neighbor's property and get more, evidence and take a look at it, do a little bit more research on my end.
Okay.
But I also am encouraging the town council that's in the room here tonight to get working on getting an ordinance in this as soon as possible to be able to do it. What's that?
You want me to speak?
You can come on up here.
I also urge the town council, Royal Commissioner, Ms. Bennett, to get a second legal opinion.
George Schinkin, 9917 Margot Lane. So we as the council, if you do that motion, we will probably hike up some more legal fees. Speaking with the lawyer, basically telling us what to do or what not to do for legal ramifications. I say you table it. Let's look into putting something in right now that we could get through the plan commission and the council that could alleviate this problem ASAP without the legal ramifications. That's all I'm saying. It may take one more month, but we're doing it the proper way. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Bennett.
Because I would be probably just as upset as this gentleman right here.
Yeah,
I look out my window today.
There were fences put up in our subdivision all the way to the sidewalk and it was against code. There's nothing we can do.
Can I make a motion to table?
No, I have to.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So, okay, I'll make a revision on my motion then to table this to the next month.
We have a motion, we're looking for a second.
I'll second it, sorry.
Any other discussion? Sir, do you need a vote on this, or do you, is that what you're
It
looking
was
for?
a motion to table, so yes, we'll take on.
We have a motion and a second. No other discussion, please call roll.
Member Johns,
Yes.
member Mayor,
Yes,
and member Ren.
Yes. We appreciate you bringing this to us tonight, and we're gonna.
Thank you. I
We're
did
gonna,
prepare a presentation, but I didn't get a chance to.
we're gonna do our due
Stop. You get a chance, read that narrative.
yes, I'm going
No
to.
offense to Ms. Bennett, but again, I think she's entirely incorrect in her interpretation of.
Like I said, we have to let her follow.
I understand. I don't know how this all really works in terms of you have to follow what, you know, town or town
Right.
council advises.
I think at the end of the day, everybody wants kind of the same thing.
I think so. I mean.
We all want it out.
We're all
Yeah.
the same.
Thank you. I
So if we're all,
appreciate it.
including Ms. Bennett, everybody wants the same thing, we just have to find the foundation on which we can
Property
build it.
safety meeting, you know, as a unsure.
Let's just be.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. This check.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll continue this, all right?
Thank you.
All right, next meeting is September 9, 2025. No other business on the agenda. We're looking for a motion to adjourn. Oh, yeah, 1 second. I got one more thing. Ms. Bennett? Before I adjourn the meeting, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hear me, Ms. Bennett? Years ago, we had a property at Fran Lynn and Oriole. They added a garage, you got a variance for a garage for
they
recall.
didn't get a variance.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they didn't need one,
And they were
because they were in that period when the code was in flux and they were able to put up a taller. Remember, it was like 14 feet tall garage, so they put a 2-car, 14-foot high garage in their backyard and still have 2-car garage in the front of their house. And they have a 4-car garage, they don't meet the qualifications for a 4-car garage, but, they are using all 4 garages.
Whatever happened legally with that? Because that's been a point of contention for a long time.
I'm not aware of this property, this situation. I believe this was under prior council, so it's something I'd have to.
Someone needs,
look into.
someone needs to go through Mr. Wickland's files.
Attorney Bennett and board members, I can briefly just advise or inform that the request was about a year ago that this matter be presented for consideration by the town manager to take this before legal, because that's what would be the next step, is a legal injunction for compliance on that. And at the time, there was no interest in moving forward with filing a legal injunction on behalf of the town.
I'm gonna put a 4-car garage tomorrow. Because I guess we don't follow laws and standards, I guess, after we just had a conversation
We'll
about,
walk to apply for the variance as well.
well, there was no variance given for this. It just kind of fell by the
Well,
wayside. I mean, it's gotta be
You
something.
asked for the advice and, or for me what happened, and that's what happened. If you'd like to bring this up again under the current town manager, we can do that as well. Just identify what the request is.
The request is to make them compliant.
So if you'd like this, the town, you're requesting that, you're formally asking the BZA is
And I
formally
think
asking
we've
the
asked
town
that.
to enter into a legal injunction on the.
And I believe we've asked that before, it just hasn't happened.
Yes.
Right, it's been going on for like 3 years.
We'll present that to the town manager.
What's the address?
Does the town manager, does he intend to come to the BZA meetings ever, or the planning commission meetings, get a feel
I
of,
don't know what his intentions are.
curious?
Denise, it's on the corner of Oriole and Franlin, and I can't remember the exact address.
Thank you.
All right, since we have no other business, next, like I said, next meeting is September 9, 2025, we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Any opposed? Thank you, everyone.
it's you.
You can hold your applause,
Okay.
applause for later. But it was quite an undertaking. And during that time, we've also worked very hard trying to make CD4B fit for the property. And we've listened to some of the complaints about CD4B. It is a little bit vague. It tends to be contradictory in spots. It's very complex. We've also learned there's a little bit of a lack of support for CD4B.
And then the zoning ordinance, I think it was 1847 that came out that repealed residential use from permitted to conditional, which made it very difficult. And since that time, we've heard a lot about, no high density residential, no connection to Illinois, impact on the school town and traffic concerns. But the one thing that everybody was in favor of was when we did the economic impact study for the project, that Baker Tilly had done, the impact economically of the property is substantial. Our taxes on the property now that are included in the report are $15,000 a year, which is about the same as most homes across the state line. With the change in use, we expect to see 320 million of net present value over 30 years, which is about 700 times what the current tax is. So there's some tremendous economic benefit here. We've looked at all sorts of different uses. With the recent uptick in technology and innovation, we believe that the certified technology park that's allowed by state statute is probably the best use of the site right now. So that basically precipitated the change or the proposed change in zoning. Only 3 differences between what we're proposing with the PUD and what we've already been approved with on the original development plan. One is the increase in lot size. So on the, you probably, when you saw one of the, I think if you could put up that figure 5, Sergio, from the revised development plan. We have not replatted the property yet. We stayed with the existing roadway plats and the subdivision plat, but we combined lot sizes. So in the combined lots, we end up with a little larger coverage and building perimeter. That's one change. Other change is use that's allowed by the certified technology park. And that was also included in the package for rezoning. And then the third item that we're changing is that we're adding the north parcel, which is 22 acres of lake and trails, into the PUD. And we are open to considering how that might be activated into the community for recreation and public use. So we now have a 81-acre PUD, and we feel that the PUD is much better than the CD4D in terms of what we're trying to accomplish. So our ask tonight is that we be granted public hearing next month to be able to affect the change in zoning.
Anyone have any questions for the petitioner? No, he already came forward.
I'd like to understand the site plan a little bit more. So you're talking the property to the north, the lake and that triangular shaped property, that is the trails that you're talking about. Like, could you point, like, I feel like we almost need like a red or laser pointer or something like. Could you step away from the microphone and like point at what is what? So we understand.
So this is the entire property, 81 acres, state line. Can't touch it. Okay. State line, north to south. Right through the midsection of the property is the NIPSCO right-of-way, 150-foot NIPSCO right-of-way that transitions at the state line to a ComEd right-of-way. So ComEd feeds the site from Illinois, comes over and hits the Munster substation down here. So that's really and actually in that right-of-way, it's not just NIPSCO, but there's a 60-foot town of Munster right-of-way also. Originally, Fisher Street was going to connect all the way through to Illinois. And then when the subdivision was built, the 3 of those homes were built within the town of Munster right-of-way. So that was abandoned. We took those 3, we purchased those 3 homes, took them down. And so this natural barrier still exists. But the north parcel is basically a 22-acre lake and trails around it, and it opens right up to the Pensy Greenway. But you can't see it from the Pensy Greenway because of the fencing and the overgrown brush and that sort of thing. So it's, most of the people that live in the subdivision probably don't even know it exists. Our original development plan just limited the southern 59 acres, but now we want to put both of those into the PUD.
I have a question. Are we talking about including the Illinois property?
No,
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 just all the Indiana.
only Indiana.
I don't think we have jurisdiction.
The only thing that we are doing, is to get more use out of it, the Indiana side. We've been working with, Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, WMRD, and with the engineer Robinson on the Illinois side and our engineers on the, Indiana side to do a stormwater detention basin that would span the state line. But that would be used for Indiana, not for Illinois. And it looks like we have concurrence on the ability to do that.
And there would not be a direct road connection that's usable on an ongoing basis.
No connection, no public connection to Illinois.
No public. Maybe from a maintenance standpoint, there might be a lock gate or something. But no public.
Yeah, that, there is a lock gate now, so there is actually access for NIPSCO, for ComEd, and for the former Lansing Country Club. But that is a private locked gate. It's only for service delivery, so we don't intend to activate that.
Gary, this is a concept right now. Obviously, the building is going to change. We're kind of looking at just the concept of it. We're not approving a 720,000 square foot building right there. It's a concept working draft and what.
Exactly. What we did here is we took, by combining lots, this is conceptual to see what footprint would work and stay within, I think it's CD5 zoning, I think governs the PUD. So what we've been able to do is to keep our impervious coverage down to 70%. The coverage on the overall PUD is only 40%. So we comply with setbacks, all of the, density and bulk, it's in the standards. So I expect that as we get further down the road, with users, I would expect we would, like any PUD, we would need to file an amendment.
You're running an economic impact on the 1.2 million square feet. Have you ran an economic impact on adding a second floor and 2.4 million square feet?
We haven't. We did talk to Baker Tilly. And I also engaged Jim Marino on that. Baker Tilly's pretty much tied up with the town right now, with respect to some of your bond financing. So I did have conversations with them. We do know this, that if we're able to get that kind of density, the economic impact is significant. Much larger than what we had projected before.
What was that projection on the 320 million over how many years?
30.
That was the original development that you
That
said
was commercialized.
You said this could possibly be triple that value at 1.2, which could be even higher at 2.4.
Assessed value could triple.
With this going to a PUD, are we looking at starting to develop developmental standards and stuff that's going to be presented to the planning commission regarding?
Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. All that stuff we want to look at.
Yeah, we'd like to get the PUD zoning now because obviously it takes a lot of time and a lot of expense to further develop that. And we've been at this for some time, so we'd like to get concurrence from Plan Commission to move forward. Conditions obviously could be further development site plans could be approved at future date.
Site plan.
Go back to the site plan. So if I'm looking at lot 1 and lot 2, I shouldn't necessarily think of that as the building and the shape of the building or the way it's positioned, because right now, like, what I would like to see is lot 1 and lot 2 be more parallel to the roadway parcel, just so you don't have that awkward you know, the roadway that's in between lot 3 and lot 1 and lot 2, that angle. I mean, is there a reason for I'm sure there is.
Yeah, reason for that now
Yeah.
is that the roadways are already platted. The subdivision is already platted. So the easiest thing we did was, you can see the different colors, was just to combine lots. The other thing that we did, if you could, Sergio, could you go down to the next one? If, for example, a building of that footprint, which is large, would take place, we put it parallel to the railroad tracks, which gives us better land use. I would anticipate that the roadway could be moved, because I know the CD5 does want building lines parallel to roadways.
Sure, yeah.
One of the benefits of doing it this way, though, is landscape screening and buffering from the residential district to the north side. But we can work through this.
You better get that screen out quick, though.
We're thinking fabric. We're thinking tarp.
Then core the Dipsto screen, right?
What's a little different element? Do we have any other questions? Mr. Whirlpool? All right, did everyone have a chance to read the staff's recommendation? Obviously, Gary's looking for, we want to start developing like standards, design guidelines, permitted usages, lot sizes, stormwater management agreements, and obviously with building size, building material, landscaping, lighting standards, signage.
Yeah, and that's where we're gonna
Enforcement
get down
penalties,
right with.
But obviously, you'll be working on that, staff and everything, be able to present that to the other.
Absolutely.
Commission.
Would you like a motion? Are we done? I'd like to make a motion to schedule a public hearing review for PUD standards for the project.
We have a motion, looking for a
I'll
second.
second.
A motion and a second, any other discussion?
I'd like to have some input from our attorney on this, which would be John Reed. It's not the Westland Bennett group.
Oh, that's handling this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Just to,
And he did make one, he was sitting over there when we were in our agenda meeting, said that he highly recommended this, and that's why we put it through. So we could have him here next time for the public hearing.
okay, I mean, I bring that up for discussion because it's a different attorney group.
All right, so we have motions in a second, any other further discussion? Sergio, please call roll.
Commissioner Brannigan.
Yeah.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes.
And Commissioner Rathman.
Yes.
Get building.
Please work with staff and getting all the requirements met for notification, public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, next item on the agenda is other business. We have PC 05004, certificate of amendment, Ryan Zenti Cider Homes for his change of address for lot 22 of Community Resources Phase 1 from 10117 Elson Road to 444 Jenna Drive. Sergio, this is a new one. I haven't done one of these before.
We did one a year ago.
Oh, we did?
Oh,
I don't remember it.
There's a staff report on it a year ago, actually the year to the date almost.
Okay.
And so what happens is when these plats get recorded, occasionally the corner lots come assigned with 2 addresses. This one did not get recorded with 2 addresses, and because the body that approved the subdivision was a planning commission, they are now asking to amend that portion of the recorded subdivision to add a secondary address. The homeowner would like their home constructed facing Jenna Drive, and they would like it to have a mailing address of 444 Jenna Drive. And so they contacted a surveyor engineering company and who issued a certificate of amendment and had that recorded. And so now we can update our records, considering your approval for that amendment.
All right, Sergio, what if I own the lot right behind him and I don't want his house, or I don't like his address?
I don't think
People,
you
if
should
people,
have bought the corner lot.
huh?
You should have bought the corner lot.
Which one?
So you can control it.
That lot.
I do own that lot right behind.
Oh, you should have bought the corner one. You should have bought the corner one. So that way you can control it.
So you want to
Where's
make
that at?
Huh?
Right.
So,
It wasn't theoretical. Yeah.
That's where we're building my house next summer.
Yeah, Hacienda Raft.
And which address would
Big
you like?
barbecue next
Roland?
summer.
I don't care what it's address is. I'm just.
No, which address do you want?
No, I'm on Barber Lane, so I'm staying in Barber Lane.
No, we're gonna
Oh, you
change
could go
this.
Jenna or Barbara with this
No.
discussion.
I have a boss who's there and she's at home. I'm gonna change anything.
13
Well,
So if we make a motion,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve this second.
seconded.
I was just kidding.
But it has to be called Rolling Way.
I was gonna call it Melon Lane since he lives right next door there. With me. He's right across the street from us. All right, we motion second. Any further discussion? Sergio, please call roll.
Commissioner Brannigan,
Yes.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Counselor Nellens,
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes.
And Commissioner Rath.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is PC 22005, surety release, surety's acceptance. Brian Sluter, construction manager for Powers Health, is requesting the release of performance surety bond and acceptance of two-year maintenance surety for Community Foundation, Inc., Block 5 at 10240 Calumet Avenue.
Commissioner Rath,
History on this?
Yes, before we continue with this one, can I ask, who was the second on the previous motion? That was Commissioner Jones. So this request is the release of a performance bond for the Community Foundation, Inc., 3-lot subdivision, or 5-lot subdivision, 3 lots of record with 2 outlots. They are requesting that, the favorable recommendation be made to the town council to authorize the clerk treasurer to release that surety that is in place. They have completed all the requirements, had inspections for public works and our community development inspectors. They're in lieu have submitted a 2-year maintenance surety for that, and they're asking that the recommendation would be that the town council authorize the clerk treasurer to accept the payment.
Any thoughts? Motions?
Yeah, let's make a motion.
You make that motion?
Yeah.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Motion second, any further discussion? Sergio, please call roll.
Commissioner Brannigan,
Yes.
Counselor Hopper,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Counselor Nellens,
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes.
And Commissioner Rath.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is finds of facts, PC 25006, development plan review, Scott Young, the attorney. On behalf of Family Christian Center, received approval of a development plan at 340 45th Street. Has everyone had a chance to review that? So looking for a motion.
Make a motion to approve PC 25-006 finding of facts.
We have a motion. I'll second. Motion and second, any discussion? Sergio, please call the roll.
Commissioner Brannigan,
Yes.
Counselor Hopper,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Counselor Nellens,
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes.
And Commissioner Rath.
Yes. Next item is PC 25010, final plat, Scott Yanni, attorney representative, Monster MOB LLC. Received final plat approval at 9260 Calumet Avenue. Need the milers for signature. Has everyone a chance to review that? So what's the?
Yeah, but I don't see donuts.
Huh?
I don't see donuts over here, really.
Donuts this time?
No, next time bring tamales.
Okay, all right.
You should have a billboard outside town hall right here. Such as your here.
Whatever you like,
Little League sign.
we'll do it the right way though, so nobody gets in trouble. We're all joking, everyone.
Yes, I know.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Sergio, please call roll.
Commissioner Brannigan,
Yes.
Counselor Hopper,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Counselor Nellens,
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes.
Commissioner Rath.
Yes. Next item, we have PC 23010, it's amended site plan. David Beach, attorney for J. Leeser of Maple Leaf Crossing LLC, received an unsubstantial modification to lot 7, a modification of site plan approval for section 266 G12 at 9450 Calumet Avenue.
I'll make a motion to approve that
I'll second.
permit.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Sergio, please call roll.
Commissioner Brannigan,
Yes.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Counselor Nellens,
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin,
Yes.
and Commissioner Rath.
Yes. Nothing else, we have continued discussion items, any items to discuss? Besides, I think, let's try moving on this, new zoning stuff, so we can. We'll talk with the lawyer. Yes, we could, to see some final drafts and start looking at it before we.
We'll talk and see how easy or hard it is. That's all.
Sounds good. Next regular meeting is September 9th, 2025. More of the business, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. So moved. Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? None. Thank you.
Man, this was a good one.
Went a little quicker than BZA.